Hello everybody, happy Saturday, and just as I promised, I am back this week with a video responding to your questions that I asked you to leave on my how to make your UC app stand out as a transfer student video. So I've got my laptop, I'm going to be going through the comments left on that video, and let's begin. So the first question, this is actually a 4-part question, okay. On Assist, there are required courses and there are recommended courses. Is it necessary to finish the recommended courses as well? I'm worried I won't be able to get the recommended courses done as I want to transfer within 2 years. I'm a bio major, by the way. Okay, so required courses, obviously, as suggested by the label, they're required, so definitely get those done. Recommended courses, so these I think are especially pertinent for people who are going into highly selective majors. So as you say, you are a bio major, that is one of the majors that are a little bit harder to get into. Recommended courses are going to buffer your application. They're going to show that you're invested in the major, and they're going to show, if you do well in them, that you are committed, that you can thrive in this major. So I would recommend getting as many of those done as possible. This is kind of a tricky question because you say you want to transfer within 2 years. I mean, if I were you, honestly, I would just apply. If you're at that 2-year point, see what happens. You could get in, you could not. There's only one way to find out, and that is to apply. And then if things don't turn out the way that you want to, you could always go back to community college for another year and work on completing those recommended courses to raise your GPA, and then apply a second time and see if things will hopefully go a little bit better for you. That would be my suggestion. Her second question, or he, I'm sorry, I actually don't know who this is because they don't have like their name. With TAG, if it's approved, why is the transfer application with the essay still required? Could you not get in even after your TAG is approved if your essays aren't good enough or you don't have enough extracurriculars? Kind of a 2-part question here as well. So why are the essays still required? You still do need to submit the full application because there's more information that they need from you. Part of that application is the essays, and the essays do really tell them who you are as a person. So the point is your application is going to give them just that little bit of extra information and kind of confirm what you listed on your TAG application. Second part of the question, could you not get in even after your TAG is approved? If your TAG is approved, you're getting into the school. Unless you lied on your application, on your TAG application, or you don't end up getting a C or better in one of the classes and you don't end up taking one of the classes. Those are the only situations in which your admission would be retracted. If your TAG is approved, if your essays aren't good enough, okay. So once again, your TAG is approved, you're getting in. A lot of people ask me about extracurriculars and having enough extracurriculars. Guys, I don't know how else to really convey this, but your extracurriculars are not you as a person, and they really are looking at you as a person. So I didn't have any extracurriculars. I did not participate in any extracurriculars in community college. I worked full-time. I put that on my application. UC was obviously understanding of that because I got into all the schools that I applied to. So there is no certain number of extracurriculars that you need to have. They are looking at you as a person. It is a holistic review process. So there's no one way to get into UC. On to the next question. If you apply to UC senior year, could you reuse 1 or 2 of the essays in the transfer application, or will they know? They won't know, but I would really not do that if I were you, because 2 reasons. You have changed a lot as a person between who you were as a high school senior and who you are now as an adult in community college, and you should really write to reflect the change that has taken place in those last 2 years, because they're not concerned about what you did in high school at this point. Yes, you have to submit what high school you went to and all that stuff, and you have to submit a transcript once you do transfer, but they're really not concerned about who you were in high school, what extracurriculars you did in high school, all that type of stuff. They're concerned about what changes have taken place within you personally in the past 2 years in community college. So that is what you want. You want your essays to reflect who you are as a person now, not then. And I mean, I don't want to come off as rude, but don't be lazy. Just write a new essay. It's going to work out so much better for you, I think, and you will feel so much more confident in the application that you're submitting if you are putting your best foot forward and writing an essay that is something that you actually wrote now and not 2 years ago when you were in high school and you were a kid and you didn't know what you were doing with your life. 4, I read somewhere that they don't allow you to take courses the summer before transfer. Is that true? Once again, thank you for your help. I believe that you can take courses the summer before you transfer, but they will not apply towards your towards transferring, if that makes sense. So all of your IGETC, all of your pre-major coursework needs to be completed the spring before you transfer. If you don't have it completed the spring before you transfer, that's an issue for them. They want to see you have that coursework done so they can confirm your grades and see that you are qualified to be in the major that you applied to. So I think you can take classes before you transfer, the summer before you transfer. You know, it just won't apply towards your major. Next, okay. Sean, he is asking, I do not know how to answer this question. How have you used or will use your earnings? I got a full-time job before I got into community college. This is a really great question. My advice is to just be honest. When I answered this question, I was honest. I just said I worked full-time in community college. The earnings that I got were put towards school, rent, any utilities around the house, and then of course whatever I needed in life, clothes, food. You know, you don't need to tell them that you bought tickets to the Rihanna concert in 2017. Like, you just need to tell them what you primarily use the money for. Like, obviously there are incidentals and there are things like nails and video games and concerts or whatever you enjoy, but that's not really what they're getting at. I think they just want to see that you're using your money wisely. For this one, I actually also put that I put my money into a 401k. So I do have a 401k that I put $120 into that 401k each month. So I think that that was showing that I was investing into my future as well. Not only am I trying to get an education, but literally I'm physically investing money into my future. So, I hate this question, by the way. I mean, honestly, I totally feel you on this one. Like, I think it's none of their business, but they ask it and you need to answer it. So that would be my recommendation. Zainab, I think. I recently changed my major from a STEM major to a humanities major. One of my counselors told me that UCLA really looks at how much an applicant was involved in major-related jobs and internships. However, I changed my major this spring and haven't been able to find anything. Just to add, I also work and have family responsibilities that limits my ability to work even part-time internships. To what extent does UCLA look at major-related jobs / internships in the application? So the thing about this is UC in general is understanding that a lot of students at community college are in a situation where they have to financially support their family, or maybe they have a dependent, or maybe they're a caretaker. So they realize that you are bound to that. You have a financial responsibility, and a lot of times you can't just, you know, ignore that to take an unpaid internship that makes you work 40 hours a week, which a lot of internships do, and it sucks, but that's reality. So I think that if you have those on your application and you have the means and you have an opportunity to take a job related to your major or an internship related to your major, that's amazing. I think if you don't, that's not going to hold you back. Especially for community college, there aren't a lot of opportunities that are made aware to community college students, if that makes sense. Like, at least at my community college, we don't have like really a career center, like a resource center where you can go be like, hey, I want to intern at XYZ type of company for the summer. So it's really hard to get involved in those type of things. I could not find those types of things. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about it too much. And especially for Zainab, you specifically, because you said that you switched majors, I would just make sure that you put in your application that not only did you have a job and a family responsibility, but also that you switched majors midway. So you didn't really have much time to take on a job or an internship before you just need to get your classes done and get that coursework completed. Leica Keys, for the additional comments section, what kind of grades should one explain? I understand a D, F, or W, but what about a C or even a B? Also, I wanted to take all the honors versions of my major pub classes, but they weren't always available, so I only took one. Should this also be explained in the additional comments section, or should I just leave it? Thank you so much for all your good content. You're welcome. Thank you. Glad you enjoy it. Okay. This is really up to you. I would say anything that kind of is different from what your general trend on your transcript is. So for example, for me, I'm really an A student. If I get a B, that was very rare in community college. I think I got 1 or 2 Bs, and I got a C, and that was like, yikes. So that's why I chose to explain a C. It's not a failing grade. If you get a C, you still pass. If you get a D, you still pass. But for me, I thought they're gonna look at my transcript and see, okay, this girl has all A's except she has 2 C's and 2 B's in this one semester. What's happening? So that's why I chose to explain the C, because I think it was very different from the rest of my transcript. So, you know, it's whatever you feel comfortable with. if you, I mean, honestly, I probably wouldn't explain a B because a B is still pretty good grade. D or an F, definitely, especially an F, you want to explain an F. W, please explain W's because you're just going to leave them hanging if you don't. In regards to the honors classes, I wouldn't worry too much about that. If you feel like it's something you want to mention, then go for it in the additional comments section. Totally. I don't think that they're going to look at your application and go, oh my God, this girl did not take all the honors classes she possibly could have. So I don't think it's 100% necessary, but if you feel like explaining it and you have extra space, why not? Okay, Lillian Juarez. Let's see. Should I be doing lower division prep course for a second major just in case I don't get in with my first choice? I want to major in political science. Should I do the major courses for like history, let's say, as well and put it as my second choice? So yes, a lot of schools do allow you to have an alternate major that you could be considered for if you don't get in on your first choice. I wouldn't worry so much about that. Honestly, I would just focus on doing as best as you can in your first choice major. That way, you know, you're improving your chances, you're doing really well in those classes, and you're actually invested in that. I think that as far as the alternative majors go, they're really not going to be too concerned about how much you've done. I think I personally would probably pick an alternate major that I have completed a lot of coursework for. So I was a linguistics major or an applied linguistics major in the case of UCLA. And then my backup was linguistics. So for linguistics, the difference between applied and regular was that applied only required one foreign language and then ling required two. So it's a backup. They're not expecting you to have all that coursework done. I think that it's just a situation where they're looking at it and saying, okay, we like this person. Unfortunately, their major is competitive. We don't have enough room to admit them. Here's another major that we think that they could do well and thrive in. And your coursework should back that up. I don't think it's necessary for you to go out and take every single GE class and every single undergrad pre-major prep coursework ever. I don't think it's necessary. I think just focus on your main major and then hopefully things will fall into a place. If not, it's going to be okay. Trust me, it'll be okay. Okay, next question. Thank you for your tips, Hailey. Can you make another video on your UC additional comments response? So I hope this doesn't come across like really blunt or really rude, but no, because I've already spoken about it twice and it's a very short section. Don't stress out over it too much. Literally just say what you need to say and move on. It doesn't need to be an essay. Just say, I got a bad grade because of this. I withdrew from school this semester because of this. There's really not much else to say other than what I've already said. I mentioned it in the How to Make Your UC App Stand Out video. I also mentioned it in the Personal Insight Guide question video and probably the tips for the UC application video as well. So definitely check those out if you haven't and you want more information on the additional comments section. Like I said, just be very straightforward. Just say what you need to say and get on to the next part of the application. It's really nothing to stress over. So with that being said, I think that is going to be the end of the video. I hope that this helped you guys out and I hope that this answered the questions for those of you who left questions. And for anyone who's watching, I always find it helpful to listen to other people's questions because a lot of people ask questions that you don't even think of. So I'm sure you benefited from this as well. And I apologize if it seems like I'm rushing. I don't know why, I just feel like I'm rushing through this video, but I'm not trying to rush, I promise. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next Saturday at 3 p.m. Bye.